Another very different one today. How about this? This is a Nintendo DS. What I bought, in fact I bought several of them, and they each had different faults on, and this one is made up out of several different boards, well, several different bits of all the ones I bought. One of the things I did do though is I swapped the this was a white one with a broken hinge, I think, and I swapped the case over, but I made a terrible mistake. When I was putting the case back together, the small sliding plastic thing that is the power switch, or connects with the power switch underneath, I put in the wrong way, and it snapped the little black part of the power switch off. So this is the little beast that I accidentally put in the wrong way. So my plan for this is I am eventually going to replace the switch, but for this video I'm just going to swap out this whole motherboard because I've got a spare one anyway. So there's not going to be much talking on this or discussion. I'm just going to film myself taking it apart and what I have to do to swap this board out. So got a nice new board there, well, probably a second-hand board, but it cost me about £6 to buy from a seller on eBay, and I'm going to swap that out. So here goes. So let's just zoom in on this a little bit. So if you look at this one here, which is the volume control, that has its little black nubbin on the outside and works fine, whereas this one, there is no little nubbin, in the words of Chandler Bing. So at some point I'm going to replace that because this board's okay apart from this, but on this occasion I'm just going to swap this out. Okay, so there's the board out. I must write something on the bottom of this so that I know that I can still use that, but I'll do that later. And here's the new board. I'm just going to pop off this little wireless module just to make sure it's out the way, because you can get to these little parts better if you do that, I've found. And you will note, looking very closely at this, that this board does have its nubbin, way, because a spider math has not broke it off. Thought that wasn't in well enough. Thought it was too good to be true that it went in so easily. I hate that connector with a passion. And yet this one here is also not my favourite, but at least you can manoeuvre this. And I believe I can see it. Okay, promising. I like to put these in early on so that I don't accidentally let it flop forward and unplug the connectors again. Although you notice my deliberate mistake there. And now the other annoying fiddly bit, which sometimes goes perfectly and other times just doesn't behave. Okay, just put the switches on. Forgot to record that, but anyway, there's the switches. Now the bit that I'm not looking forward to, because this is the bit I messed up last time, so let's just check the volume is there, and then I have to make sure I do this the correct way. Let's pop it in there and see. I think it's just like that. I've never had trouble with these when I've replaced them on original cases. It's always on, I always get them mixed up on aftermarket cases. Okay, let's try that then. I'll try and do it a slightly different way. That's not the one to go in there. The small black one, I'll find that later on. Okay, so let's just put the battery case back on. Now I hope this will now be my see-through DS and it will all work. So on we go. That sounded all right. Let me just try it again to make sure that the sound was working. There you go. And it looks like the keyboard is working perfectly. So there you go, replacing a motherboard on a DS that has had a spider mast switch. And of course later on what I shall do is return to this and take this off and try and put a replacement switch on, because this board should work apart from that.